Hello everyone, this is the Fashion Workshop. Today we continue working with the stand collar for the semi-coat. Last time I showed you how to stitch the first edge of the stand collar to the coat, and today we are going to show you how to stitch the second one. Pin the center back first. The second edge should be tacked to the lining and the facing. Svetlana is taking the second edge of the collar. Have a close look at what she is doing. We can start stitching now. Be very attentive. The first stitch is the most important one. The width of the seam should be 7 millimeters. Be very accurate. Don't make holes. Do not forget to cut all the extra pieces. In this case, it would be very convenient to work. All the seams will be beautiful. Svetlana is cutting the extra pieces from the seams after stitching the stand collar to the coat. Let's go back to the ironing desk. Next, we need to make a notch on the stand collar on the same level with the shoulder seam. We need to do it in order to press the front part of the seam open. Have a close look at the way Svetlana is working. Be very attentive. The back part of the seam should be pressed close. Next, we need to do the same thing on the other shoulder. The back part of the seam should be pressed close, from one notch to the other. Svetlana is pressing it close to the lining. The front part of the seam should be pressed open, just like on the other side. We press the seam open. Next, we need to turn the coat right side out. Svetlana is making sure that the seams match inside the detail. Next, we need to pin the seams in order to iron them. We're not going to do anything else. We need to make sure that the seams are accurate. This is why Svetlana is being so attentive. Due to the fact that the both seams were pressed close, they are not too thick. This seam is pretty soft. I remind you that we cut all the extra pieces from the seams after stitching the details. Pin the seams to the shoulder seam level. Do the same thing on the other side. Why is it so important to make sure that the details are even and trim them after stitching? Otherwise, there would be waves here on the collar. You can see that everything is perfect. We're showing you a very useful technique. Have a look here. The front parts of the seams were pinned this way. The back parts of the seams will be sewn together by hands. To do that accurately, we decided to pin them. Be very attentive. The back parts of the seam, from the facing to the facing, should be sewn together by hands. Turn the collar wrong side out and attach the two edges of the stand collar to each other by hands. I remind you that after stitching the stand collar to the coat, we press the seam open, and after stitching it to the lining, close. Watch how Svetlana is working. She's making back stitches. This is how the details should be attached to each other by hands. Due to the fact that one of the seams was pressed open and the other closed, the seam isn't too thick. She'll show it to you when we iron it. Sew the details this way from one shoulder to the other. I remind you that there is a notch here. It divides those parts of the seam which should be pressed close and open. Have a look here. These parts of the seams were pressed open. This is how they look like. We'll steam them together. They won't be stitched. Now we can turn the coat right side out and go to the ironing desk. We can remove the pins from the back part of the seam. We've already sewn these parts of the seams together. The seam is pretty strong. Next, we need to iron the front parts of the seams. After that, we'll remove the pins and press them even harder. This is how the stand collar looks like now. The seam is soft and accurate. It's a pleasure to look at it. This is why it is so important to cut all the extra pieces from the seams. We iron the seams gently. Next, we need to remove the pins and press the seams harder. Make sure that the seams match before ironing them again. This is the final ironing. Stand collar should be ironed very thoroughly. This is how the stand collar looks like from the right side and from the wrong side. Have a look here. I remind you that these parts of the seams are not attached to each other, due to the fact that the details are accurate and all the extra pieces were removed. The seams are soft and beautiful. The back parts of the seam were stitched together by hands. The seam is pretty complicated. 2 layers of the stand collar, the coat itself, the lining with interlining. The seam is soft anyway. Perfect. All the details are accurate. We showed you how to make them very thoroughly. Next, I'll try the coat on. I am wearing the tacked coat. This is how the stand collar looks like. I remind you that I bought this piece of fabric for making mock-ups. Anyway, it took us so much time and hard work to make this coat. I want to show you how to edge the sleeves and the bottom. I think that I'm actually going to wear this coat sometimes. Everybody like it. The color is very beautiful. I can also wear it this way. I want to show you how to edge the sleeves and the bottom. I really hope that you find my tutorials interesting. The techniques I showed you when making this coat are very useful. I want us to be different and beautiful. Don't be lazy. I hate it when people say that they don't have an opportunity to dress well. This coat is the best example of the fact that it's not necessary to spend a lot of money on a garment for it to look good. Remember that practice makes perfect. Don't be afraid of experiments. That's all for today. Be different and beautiful every day. Remember that practice makes perfect. My name is Paukšte Irina. Subscribe to my channel, write comments, share videos, press the like and the bell buttons. I really need your support. Thank you. Goodbye.